A poor man walks up to you and asks for food. You have two options. Let him starve or give up your meals for the whole day. Which do you choose?
Hey everyone, I'm Tyler, the director, and welcome to my channel. I've always loved movies and the art of storytelling. As somebody who's passionate and enthusiastic about movies, I consider myself to be somewhat of a movie buff. That's why I made this channel. I plan on posting reviews, reactions, and revisions of different movies that I found interesting. And if you're interested in that, hit that subscribe button below and give this video a thumbs up. If you have any comments, suggestions, just hit me up below in the comment section and I'll be sure to reply. Thanks!
The Platform is a Spanish science fiction socio-thriller film directed by, and sorry if I butcher his name, Galder Gaztelu-Urrutia, released on September 6, 2019. The film was released way before all the current coronavirus pandemic news, but it's still kinda crazy how many parallels there are between the movie and our society. That's why in today's video, we're going to review 2019's The Platform, a symbol of society. Since you clicked this video, I assume you've already seen the movie, but if not, then I suggest you pause this video and go watch it first. Runtime is only 94 minutes and we're on lockdown, so you've got time. Anyways, here's a quick summary of the movie. Oh yeah, and spoiler alert. Our main character is Goring, a man who voluntarily enters the pit for 6 months to earn a degree and to break his smoking habit. Neither of the two remaining a primary goal once he realizes the situation he's gotten himself into. He's in a vertical style prison. Food is delivered from the top to the bottom via a platform through the large holes on each level. Those on lower levels are only able to eat the leftovers of the top levels. He goes through a rotation of cellmates from an elderly man named Trimagasi to an employee of the administration named Imogiri, who volunteered due to her naive understanding of the prison system, and Baharat, who wishes to escape the pit. He also meets Maharu, a wordless woman who descends level by level on the platform each month looking for a missing child that may or may not actually exist. Is it a coincidence that The Platform has gotten so popular recently? Netflix must be making a killing right now with everyone on lockdown. Jokes aside, the timely arrival of this film draws many similarities to our society. The movie is very heavy on symbolism. There's a quote at the beginning of the movie. There are 3 types of people: those at the top, those at the bottom, and those who fall. The social parable is obvious. If those at the top didn't take more than they needed, there would be enough for those at the bottom, and there'd be no need for others to fall, literally. So let's focus on that quote a little more. Those at the top. In today's society, the people on top symbolizes those with power, wealth, or generally those living comfortably. These people actually have the power to make a difference because they have the choice: save themselves and eat or take as much as they want, or help those below and eat only what they need to survive. It was even explained by Imogiri that there's enough food for all the prisoners if they only ate what they needed. However, due to selfish nature, it's hard to change, especially when faced with the threat of hunger. For the prisoners on top, this choice is a privilege that they merely have due to their position in the pit. When Baharat asked the couple on level 5 for help, instead of simply helping someone from below, they taunt him and shit on all his effort. Pun intended. Why? Just because they can. There are also other people like Trimagasi with no regard for others, who would piss and spit on those below him because he believes they would do the same if they were in my position. Goring corrects Imogiri's naive idea of spontaneous solidarity by saying, change is never spontaneous. Sadly, this is the truth of the pit, and of our society. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and it doesn't look like much will change soon, considering our current situation with the coronavirus outbreak. There are people today hoarding toilet paper, water, canned goods, supplies that all people should have. But those who can afford to, buy more than what they need, leaving little to none for those below. Those at the bottom. It is symbolic for the poor, the hungry, and the weak. Despite the desire for change and solidarity, no one will listen to those below. Early on, Goring attempts to convince the inmates on level 47 above him to ration the food for those below, but they quickly dismiss his pleas. It wasn't until he was on level 33 did the inmates below take the idea of conserving food seriously, because he threatened to crap all over their food supply. This is really the situation we face today. Those who desire change won't be taken seriously by those above. Yet, those same people aren't willing to change unless change is forced upon them. Side note, there are 333 levels, and with 2 prisoners at each level, that equals 666. So they are quite literally in hell. Okay, back to the movie. And lastly, those who fall. This could mean 2 things. 1, those who jump and fall to their deaths. Or 2, those rare individuals who want change and take it into their own hands. We'll focus on the latter. Goring and Baharat willingly sacrifice their position on level 6 and literally fall down the pit to share the wealth with those below. Those who fall must come from a position of power, from a position at which real change can be made. And although he dismissed the idea initially, his plans represent the spontaneous solidarity that Imagiri alluded to. Then we realize, the best way to make change is to send a message to those above. That's why I believe the young girl at the end was intended to be the real message. She represents hope, purity, and morality. The ones who suffer the most from social stratification are children, and since children are typically portrayed as being helpless, they require someone else who is willing to fall down and raise them up. And by sending her up to level 0, Goring is also sending a message that not everyone has lost their humanity. There are still people willing to do good, to do the right thing. For those familiar with the show, the platform felt like a full-length Black Mirror episode. The movie was very thought-provoking. It had such a unique way of keeping you at the edge of your seat. With each passing scene, you literally ask yourself, what would I do? And without even noticing, you've put yourself in the shoes of the character. At the start of the movie, Goring believes he can survive without eating the leftovers on the platform, but he gives in after a few days. What would you do? Then he expresses he just needs to survive 6 months, then he's freed. But he ends up killing Trimagasi. I mean, wouldn't you? Then he eats Trimagasi, and Imagiri, and a bunch of papers. Could you do that to survive? And in the last scene, if you were so close, like Goring was, would you be willing to let the little girl go up the platform alone? The message requires no bearer. Unfortunately, in real life, those at the bottom rarely reach the top because of their lack of means. And those at the top most likely won't sacrifice for those at the bottom, especially if it means less for them. But that's what makes the movie so compelling. The premise is so unique because your literal position in the pit, or society, is never permanent. Those at the top and those at the bottom are constantly changing. One day you're on level 48, then the next you're on 171. One day you could be at the mercy of those above you, and then the next those same people are at your mercy. It really has a way of convincing you that you have to make a choice. It's either your life or someone else's. And that's kind of what we have in our society today. If you really enjoyed the movie as much as I did, I would recommend the following. If you enjoy Spanish horror thrillers, I highly recommend 2016's The Invisible Guest. The film follows a young businessman who wakes up in a locked hotel room next to the body of his dead lover. He hires a prestigious lawyer to defend him, and over the course of one night, they work together to find out what really happened. And if you're into the whole cannibal horror genre, then you might like The Green Inferno, a 2013 American film directed by Eli Roth. The film follows a group of activists who are forced to fight for survival when they are captured by a cannibalistic tribe. And if you're into science fiction in general, you might also enjoy the British science fiction anthology series Black Mirror. Episodes are usually standalone, typically set in alternate universes or in the future. They often deal with controversial and theoretical topics through a dark and cynical tone. As of today, there are 5 seasons with a total of 22 episodes. Overall, I really enjoyed the movie, and I believe it's the type of movie everyone should watch. There's a meaning in it that everyone should discover for themselves. And as we see how our society functions, or fails to do so during one of history's most devastating times, make some time to watch The Platform. As the director said so himself, at the end of the day, the movie isn't gonna change the world, but it may change the viewer. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video with anyone you think might enjoy it. I appreciate all feedback, so if you have any comments or suggestions, just hit me up in the comment section below and I'll be sure to reply. Again, this was Tyler the director. See you all next week, and that's a wrap!